how was your adjustment from the corporate world to learning to handle the volume? As you know, you could have a list of 70 cases. You might split it with somebody, but you start handling preliminary hearings and probable cause hearings. How was that adjustment of going from, what seems to be a completely different world?
Right. There was a period of adjustment in terms of figuring out how to manage the work and how to cope with things. But for me, it was like a huge. It was like a. To me, it was like a great burden was lifted because normally I'm keeping track of my time. You're billing hours. You're answering. You're being scrutinized for, all sorts of, every little detail of your work is being scrutinized. When you go to a public defender's office, nobody has time for that. You're doing triage. You're dealing with lots of crisis, and there was an enormous autonomy. There's a great deal of autonomy. And which was like freeing to me. It was, I was immediately a much happier lawyer when I got there. The work itself obviously was a challenge, and it was a challenge to figure out how to manage it. And there was a learning curve, and there were mistakes made, and things, there's a little trial and error process that goes on, but once that you learn that the curve is steep, but you learn a lot of this stuff pretty quickly. And then once you gain some facility with the rules of court and the practices and the culture, it was exciting to me. It was exciting, figuring out the puzzle of a case, figuring out the puzzle of a judge's orientation, and it was. I found it very thrilling on a day-to-day level.